I got to say, look, I think America has a president and a vice president that don't give a damn about all Americans. They have made that crystal clear.
What's up, YouTube? Drill Sergeant back again, and happy Sunday to you. I got some uplifting news for people out there who know that joy comes from the inside, even though we're in a dystopian future. Listen, I know, I'm being a bit ridiculous, but I'm just trying to get some fun in here. Governor Josh Shapiro, let's get to the point. Governor Josh Shapiro had something to say. He had something to say not only about how his state is going to be funding the SNAP program as soon as they heard the decision from the court. And now this may be a few days old or whatever it is, but it does go to the point I made yesterday about how states who aren't succubuses on America's internal digestion system, but the states who aren't red states that take all the money and spend it on themselves, the people in power, and then beg that no one else ever get it, even though they don't put in as much as everybody else. This is what states can do, like California, like Pennsylvania, like New York. But all in all, I'm going to have a little bit to say after I show this. But it's so beautiful. It's so uplifting. It's made for Sunday. Let's listen to it.
So was the release of the federal funds a mistake? Like just yesterday, Vice President JD Vance said, he called the court order absurd. Do we think that the release of the funds was a mistake, or is it a direct result of you guys going to court?
Well, let me answer both the JD Vance piece and the other piece. This is as a result of us continuing to push legally with the judge, and the judge ruling that no longer would there be a partial payment, but the full payment. And the moment we got that ruling, Secretary Arkush went into action, pushed that button, and got the dollars flowing again, the federal dollars. And look, as for JD Vance, I got to say, look, I think America has a president and a vice president that don't give a damn about all Americans. They have made that crystal clear. And at least with Donald Trump, he's transparent about that. JD Vance is a total phony. And let me explain why. JD Vance rose to some prominence by writing a book about growing up in Appalachia, where there's a whole lot of people who get SNAP. He made millions of dollars on the backs of telling their stories, and then he turned his damn back on those very people who he likes to write about and claim as his own. Here's another thing JD Vance claims. He claims to be a person of faith. I know my Bible. And my Bible teaches us that we are to love thy neighbor. That's right. And we are to feed the hungry. That's right. Deuteronomy says if you see a person who is in need, you don't give them a clenched fist, you open up your hand. So for JD Vance now to turn around after claiming all these things his whole life and literally go to court to stop hungry people from eating, that is not only phony, it is shameful. And this is who is leading America today. And folks got to wake up and realize the people who are leading in America quite literally want to keep people hungry. That's right. And you'll excuse me for getting emotional about it, but when I see hungry people in my state who are hungry because of JD Vance's bullshit politics, that makes me angry. And that's why I went to court. And that's why we're funding SHARE. And that's why we're putting dollars back on people's SNAP cards, because that's what the people of Pennsylvania deserve, and America deserves better than JD Vance.
Ah, yes, fresh air. Now, I know on a Sunday you're saying to yourself, why would you show that guy cussing like that? Well, because, number one, cursing. The idea that there is a word that is unacceptable is purposefully used to break the chain of acceptability. When someone curses, they snap the band that connects us to acceptability, what we can and can't say. The minute that someone uses a curse word, it not only wakes up the listener, but it separates the speaker from the rules, from the accepted rules, from the internalized rules, as well as the social rules. This is why, when people are cursing, you may find yourself a bit more attracted to their speech. Or even if you're disgusted by it, you are not hypnotized by it. People can drone on and on until you hear that word and your ears perk up. It's for a reason. Acceptable speech reinforces rules, internalized or socially demanded. When you use a curse word, it's done on purpose, supposedly, hopefully, to break that chain, that band, snap it, wake up. So yeah, I have no problem with him using that on a Sunday. I'm glad he did. Let me tell you the second part about what I want to say is, Governor Josh Shapiro is not some freaking left-wing ideologist. He's not some super progressive guy. He's a middle-of-the-road, probably center-right liberal. It used to be that if you were, a Democrat of any kind, or a Republican of any kind, you too would not want to go to court to end SNAP. You wouldn't want to at least be seen like that. You would do it in the back rooms, like all the rest of the Republicans did since Reagan, or before. Nixon, really. Yeah, that's what you would do. But now we're at such a place where the demons have come out to play, on purpose. And idiots that support them get on YouTube and say, well, I had people just cutting their SNAP card because God freed them from their bondage. All of a sudden, SNAP is bondage. Even though those same people who say that get money paid to them by their congregation. It's okay to take money from other people, but the money that you put into the government to get back in case you need it, that's bondage. She said that.
Good morning, friends. I've got to share with you what the Lord is doing. People are cutting up their EBT cards. They're getting rid of the food stamps. They're saying, I'm not going to be in bondage anymore. They're calling upon Yahweh and saying, Lord, set me free from this bondage. And God is showing up. It is absolutely amazing. They're coming out of captivity. We've had so many cut their food stamp cards up. We've had so many get rid of their food stamps and say, the government is not my provider. Yahweh is my provider.
I really wasn't even going to talk about her today. I really wasn't. But it just came up in my conversation as I was talking, freestyling here. Yeah, you hear that. You see, unfortunately, she gets this, $100 per person. So she can teach them how to, be more godly, like her. And I'm not saying that she doesn't believe what she says, but she also does this where she was getting $30 a month. Just give me $30 a month. That's not bondage. She's getting money from citizens every day, and she can live on that. But if you get money from anywhere else because it's on the EBT card, that's bondage, and God will provide. Well, then why don't you give it for free? Let God provide. Why don't you let God provide? But the government who gives them something on a little card in the form of tax dollars that they have been paying all of their lives. Most of the people are elderly or children and just can't pay taxes yet. This is what the taxes are for, and you call it a handout. While people open their hand and give out money to you daily, monthly, just $30 a month. Give it to me. You don't have to cut up your SNAP card. And you see, Josh Shapiro, even though he's just a regular middle-of-the-road Democrat, who I actually didn't want him to be a vice president. I was much more happy with Walz because of that. This guy's a corporatist. But normal, decent people, it used to be, we like feeding hungry people. Not because it's bondage for them. Because it's the right thing to do.
Hey, yeah, you.
Before you click away to watch someone unbox a tactical toothbrush, let's talk about something real. Political Drain isn't just another content mill. We're a digital front in a very real war. Not with bullets, but with ideas, with action, and with solidarity. We pair urgent news with critical education. And we build community around actual resistance, not the hashtag kind. The kind that moves. But here's the thing. None of this is free. It isn't. Behind every video is time, labor, research, and some weird guy asking if we're gonna pay the hosting bill. And yeah, some of that money goes to things we can't necessarily say out loud. If you know, you know. Let's just say our special ops aren't Call of Duty LARPers. They're people making real moves to protect, uplift, and organize. You're not just funding a channel. You're funding a resistance network in a world where capital still calls the shots. Unfortunately, in a system built on artificial scarcity, even mutual aid has a price tag. And if we want to grow, if we want to win, we need your help. We need your help. So if you've got even a few bucks to spare, toss it our way. It's not for ads, it's not for merch drops, but for people making moves in the shadows so others can do it in the light. It's just us and you. So fund the mission, fund the fight, fund the future, because nobody's coming to save us. We save each other. That's how this works. Follow us on all these things you see here, and our link tree is in the description. Maybe even get some merch.